Students, hey, this is the job order costing second portion of our workout problem. I've recorded this video to help you through this process. The section 006 did not complete item F, but I have included it on my PDF that I've posted online for you to use and help with this problem. So we will start with item G. You can reference the PDF for the information related to item F. Item G asks us to complete jobs 157 and 159. I want to point out a few things before we move on. I have a manufacturing overhead T account. Everyone's favorite thing is my T accounts. Here that shows our actual, and if you click in the cell you can reference these points. And then we have applied, which is here in applying manufacturing overhead to these jobs. You'll recall that the problem asks us to use direct labor dollars as our activity for the predetermined overhead rate. Our jobs, two of our jobs, 157 and 158, had a beginning WIP balance, and then the costs for January billed in the job cost sheet. If I were to take a moment here, I could total up the costs of this job by adding these four dollar values. The beginning amount for job 157, the costs that were added to it during January, and we have $100,000 total. We'll do the same thing for these other jobs. And job 159, we have a total. This amount represents the total product cost for each job. Now, we have to go down. We have to go and look and see that jobs 157 and 159 were complete. Once they're completed, they need to be moved from WIP to finished goods. You'll notice that job 158 is not complete. Therefore, it is still in the WIP account, work in process account. It is not yet completed. So, what we need to do here is we need for item G, we need to move from WIP, we need to move the WIP to finished goods inventory for both of our jobs by taking the total cost of the job. I'll go job 157 to finished goods, and I will go up and take the total from job 157, and you need to do the same thing, the same entry for job 158. What does that do? It reduces WIP and it increases our finished goods inventory because these have been completed. They need to be in finished goods. So you need to finish this by completing the entry for job 158. Now, let's go to item H. Item H shows us that job 157 was sold and that we have shipped it as of January the job has been shipped and sold per the language in the problem. So we need to record this entry. You'll remember the process of items are raw materials, then they build and WIP as they are processed in the manufacturing environment. Then they're moved to finished goods like they were in G. And then when they're sold, they move to cost of goods sold. We're going to assume, for the purposes of this problem, that they were sold on account. That means we didn't receive cash. We need to record accounts receivable. So, for item H, we have a 4-line entry that we need to record. And this entry is a debit to cost of goods sold and a credit to finished goods inventory. And we have a debit to accounts receivable and a credit to sales revenue. This amount should be the amount the job was sold for, which is $180,000. So I would record $180,000 here. And in the cost of goods sold, I need to come up, let you finish this part of the problem, but you need to reference for job 157. Job 157 was $100,000, so you would move this finished goods of $100,000 to cost of goods sold. This is the cell for job 157. Now, let's move to item I. What is the ending balance of WIP and finished goods inventory at the end of January 2015? Well, finished goods, we have job 159 in finished goods, and in WIP, we have job 158. You need to bring down from the cost sheet, from the job cost sheets, 158, job 158 represents the WIP balance because it is not a completed job, and this $89,000 represents the amount in finished goods because job 159 is finished and it's not yet sold. You need to bring these balances down here, and I'll let you reference those on your own. Okay? This was for item I. Okay, we are down to our last part of this problem, item J. Item J asks us to analyze the manufacturing overhead account. I've already mentioned this in the video. All I'll do is come up here and copy and paste our information that we've already compiled in our T account. I know you guys love my T accounts very much. Here is our analysis of our manufacturing overhead account. What does this tell us? This tells us that for January we applied $48,000 of manufacturing overhead and we actually incurred $61,000 of manufacturing overhead. The predetermined overhead rate that we've already completed, you'll remember, is based on annual estimates. These estimates in mature manufacturing companies are usually very accurate. Certain economic or market conditions could throw a wrench in them, like the downfall in 2008 and 2009. A lot of manufacturing companies were scrambling to adjust their manufacturing overhead allocations. This concludes our problem. There is a journal entry at the end of the year for an imbalance in applied and actual manufacturing overhead. And what I'll do right now is I'll demonstrate as if this was the end of the year. Let's assume this is the end of the year information right here, even though for this problem it's only January. To fix this, I would debit cost of goods sold for the difference. And I would credit manufacturing overhead for the same thing. And once I put in this $13,000 year-end adjustment, we would balance. Okay, that's great. We now balance our actual and applied balance because we've made a year-end adjustment to cost of goods sold. This is how we solve for a discrepancy in applied and actual manufacturing overhead at the end of the quarter or end of the year, just for example purposes. Okay, this concludes our workout problem. Hope you guys have a great day.